What exactly though?
So, I am not sure of what the actual protest. We were just given a schedule that there was protests scheduled, but I do believe it was because of the upset in the election. Because a lot of people were rooting for Kamala to win, and of course, we thought she had it in the bag, but something
She
happened.
still does because
Yeah,
he's the elect right now, so
right.
he is not the official president until January the 20th, and that's provided
Mhm.
he makes it. A lot can happen between now and January, so I'm optimistic. I'm not one of the ones who will give him this and say what he is when he's actually not, because if you just notice some of this Mideast crisis that we were just
Mhm.
talking about, when you read under the title, it says the Biden administration still has this problem. You see
Oh
what I'm saying?
wow.
So
Okay.
they're
I
not
see.
even. So they're gonna give Trump credit where they think it may help him, but for all the issues in reality, still belongs to this old administration. So we
Mhm.
don't want to sit here and forget that this is just an elect. It's not in an official status yet. So a lot
Okay.
can happen between now
This
and
is true. This is true.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So wait, Rasha. So we're gonna go into our book series for this half an hour. We're gonna introduce you to one of my favorite books by Don Clifton. It's called Strength Finders. So Sakina's also, you know, privy to these books because Sakina sent me one that's similar to this called Emotional Intelligence that we're gonna
Okay,
sit
yes,
here
I
and
know of that one.
yeah,
Mhm.
break into as well. But my book here, it's all it's all kind of you know tatted up, so to speak, because you know I have read through this book and I've made notes through a lot of it here, right?
Right.
What did you think about it? Because I have a PowerPoint I'm going to share so that we can start the discussion on this book. But what did you think about it first before we even get there?
So, I've read a couple of excerpts of it. I think it's going to be a great go to just to have some type of understanding of how to move in our political environment, or when dealing with employees and dealing with upper
So a
management,
corporate
executive.
environment. You say political, or do you
Sorry,
mean
I meant to say corporate, but it's politically
okay?
correct at this point, because we have to be really careful with what we say. And even if we have some things that we normally say all the time that are not offensive to us, they're offensive to other people. So we just really have to be mindful of how we speak and when we're speaking.
Hmm.
And if we're getting frustrated, just to try to reel that in. But then understanding ourselves emotionally and mentally, we can deal with it. And so this book really goes into finding out what makes us tick, what makes us think the way we think, what makes us react the way we react. And it gives us some type of mindful markers so that we can be emotionally aware of how we're approaching situations, conflicts, things that may arise in our corporate environment.
Okay. See, now this is why I like having Rashi here, because Rashi gives a whole you get two different perspectives on
Right, I'm outside the box, a
yeah
little
on
wild
a
card.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we absolutely give two different full perspectives.
Mhm.
Because we both work in corporate. And there's a lot of things and a lot of issues. So it's so broad that you can have multiple understandings and perspective of a thing. And this is why we're here discussing it, because one of it fits somebody, right? Like one of the issues that we talk about is going to pertain to someone in the workforce,
Most
because that
definitely.
workforce spectrum is very, very broad.
Mhm.
And so these types of conversations help us to navigate through our corporate workplace, because it's a real thing, and there are real issues that happen, and people want to um, they want to know how to either navigate so that they can climb and reach a goal, personal goal, or they want to sit here and kind of be able to work without without being disrupted. Like, I don't want to say use the term hold your head down, because that would That would be me assuming that somebody was afraid, as opposed to, no, I just
Mm-hmm.
want to come to work and then go home. And that's a
Mm-hmm.
valid feeling too. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want to minimize what people feel, about work, because it's a real kind of thing. It's a real issue. So let me sit here and bring up this, share my screen and see if I can bring up that PowerPoint. You guys let me know if you can see it, Sakina.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because we got to deal with a lot. Because sometimes we got to deal with our petty Bettys, our backstabbing Berthas, or our high-minded Howard. So it's a lot of stuff that's going on.
Yeah, 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 absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so if I do it like this, are you able to see that? Are you guys able to see that or no? Yeah, you didn't see it because, yeah.
Yeah, we don't
So,
see it.
all
Yeah.
right, so I'm going to copy this and I'm going to send it over to the email, and then maybe you can
All
present it.
right. All right, let me go in here.
This is a daggone shame, though, that you can't see this. I just think this is okay. You should be able to see it now. Hold on. Are you sure you
Okay,
can't
let's
see
see.
this?
No, not yet.
Hold on. Okay. You should be able to see it now.
Okay, let's see. Something's coming up.
Yes,
Okay,
it's coming
now
up.
I see the picture in picture with you. Okay, there it
Okay.
is. Okay, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
you should be. Yeah, because I thought so.
There it
I'm like,
is.
listen, this is a lot right here. Okay, are you guys able to see this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is Don Clifton Strength Finder, the 2.0. They call it the next generation. So, if for anyone who's interested in this book right here, you can follow along with us. You can purchase this on Amazon. This book is about, nine to $11. It's not very much. And then at the end of it, it has an assessment you can um, you can put in, you answer a bunch of questions about, your job and what you like to do, this, that, and the third. And it breaks it down into this assessment where, when we get ready to talk about these 34 strengths, it lets you know where you are on that strength assessment chart, right?
And
And so it's really good because it allows you
mhm.
to it assess your strengths, and then it tells you what you should do, or what type of information or collective you should be looking for in your job situation, so that you can assert yourself in that strength. Does that make sense?
Yes, because it helps you to tap in to your natural talent. So this is basically giving you all of the tools that you need to be your best self and to use what you have and what you bring to the table, what you naturally have. That's all completely you, and it helps you to just tap into your natural talents. And so this will give you a boost, a really big boost, because so
Yeah,
many
it,
times
it
we
really
focus on the negative portions of what we need to fix or what we need to, conform. But this helps you to transform your job to your best self.
So right here, so it highlights the 34 themes.
Hmm.
Don Clifton is also, he's referred to as the father of strength-based psychology. And what is strength-based psychology? Strength-based psychology is focusing on your strength rather than your weakness. This book helps you, out of the 34 themes, pick out what is for you. Now, all of them are not going to be our best strengths, because you would be superhuman if that was the case, right? But
Right.
we do have lots of very good strengths that we can use in our everyday job that can also
Hmm.
enhance and probably will work if you're looking to climb up. Some people are not looking to climb up, but for those who are, Strength Finders is a very good start. Okay, so the way Strength Finders work is, it is strength in talent, strength plus talent times your investment equals strength.
Mm,
Okay,
that's
so
good.
your strength plus your talent times your investment. Your investment is you waking up every day and getting to work, right? Going to
Hmm.
work. That is your investment.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody want to expound? You want to expound on that a little bit, Rasha, or no?
So the reason why you're employed is because your employer needs you to fill this particular position for this particular time to help their customers. So what I usually tell my younger employees, and this is true for the millennium, or I guess Gen Y or Gen Zs and Gen X's, you pretty much you don't have any bills. You don't have to worry about rent because you're living with your parents. You don't have to worry about children if you don't have any children. So there's no reason for you not to come to work. So your employer has hired you to fill a position to work with their customers. So they need you there to fill that seat. Now, if you're away a lot of the time, then what does the employer need you for? You have to be there to work the position at the time that they need you to work the position. So it's really important for you to be at work.
So
So you get a
then it's safe to say, right, that your person is your talent,
right
right? Because and then your investment
is
would be your
showing
talent
up.
at your place of employment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that equals strength. So then your talent is a natural pattern of thought, it's a feeling, and a behavior. So your
Mm-hmm.
talent is just you bringing your full self to a workplace, right?
Right.
So then your investment, it breaks down that is the part where it's time spent practicing, developing, and building your knowledge base. So when we're at
Right.
work, we're absolutely learning whatever our job description is, right? That is time, practicing, and spending building your knowledge base. So you're also building your knowledge base upon your description of your job. But when you have a book like this where we're going to help you assess your strengths, this is also going to be time spent practicing and developing and building your knowledge base upon your natural strength within the 34 strengths or talents, right?
And then nine times out of ten is the more you do something, the better you get at it. So
Right.
it does ring true. Practice makes perfect. So when you actually take the time to hone those skills, you really become attuned with what you're actually trying to do, and it becomes a part of you, and it gets to be intrinsic to where it's not even it's just basically you're just doing it on autopilot. So it's really important to find your strengths and utilize your strengths so that you can get to where or what you're trying to accomplish, your goals quicker.
Right. So it says
Right.
combined. Oh, I'm sorry, Sakina. Go ahead.
Right. And let me hone in because also when times change and this thing involves or evolves, you're there from the beginning. So this builds up
Right.
seniority, and that's where this comes from. So when you build in that seniority, that's that time again. So that's where you become valued in your job, that seniority, right? That's that strength. They have that trust, right? So
Well, they don't
sometimes
know
people
that yet. Hold on, I'm going to
they
stop you
don't know that, but
They don't
eventually,
know
listen
this
to me.
part
What
yet.
you're not letting me get there. Once this is eventually what you bring to the company. People look for that when they see eventually. What they look for in a job is that seniority or how long you've been at another job. They're not looking for people that bounce from here to there. They want people to hit the ground running.
Right.
So
But what I'm
this is
saying
what
is, hold on,
shows.
because y'all going too deep into, right,
Okay.
another type of topic.
Exactly. So this is
No,
that talent. What I'm trying to tell you from HR, this is that talent. People look for people that don't run from job to job to job to job. They look for longevity. And this is that longevity. This is what both of y'all are talking about. Right. I'm only giving that introspective. So again, this is a great book. I've never read it, but
Mhm.
again, that combined strength and talent. Because one thing that happened before this was called career planning. So career planning was another series of something that told you where you needed to go, and this strength in planning right here was another intricate part. So this wasn't available for me, but I'm glad I'm listening to y'all because career planning took you to where you needed to go, and now these are your strengths to help you stay into where your field or where you needed to be. So
Right.
I'm
So
real
that
good.
last part you said, yes,
Come on.
that is where we go. That's where the total focus is going to be.
Mhm.
Because in this case right here, in the instance that we're talking about, your talent is just yourself coming into a
That's
work
right.
environment. So nobody yet knows about your strength. Nobody, you don't know about your strength, and your
No, you
employer
do.
doesn't know about your strength. So we are trying to help you understand what a different type of strength is coming through the gate, so that way this will help you navigate through a lot of things, perspectives that you may or may not see in a work environment.
Well,
So
one of our three questions is what are your major strengths and your major weaknesses? So because you
yeah,
need
but this is not going to access, so you're taking this into another topic. So we're staying just
well, no,
right
I'm saying when you're working on your strengths, right? It says your talent, your natural strength. So if you're building on your strengths, right? And then this is again, this is good. This is good
Yeah, but
information
this is
because
just the beginning, right? This is the
exactly.
beginning. So this is the preface. So we haven't got into a strength or a weakness yet. So this is just telling you what the book means by saying talent times investment equals strength. This is that. That's it.
Come
It's
on.
just that. It's yourself coming in and understanding that whatever
Investment is
your work
longevity,
environment looks
right?
like, it
Right.
is
All I said
that is
was
investment.
longevity shows seniority. I'm not cutting the corners. I'm just saying this is great because longevity equals seniority. This is a great build. I'm not, and then we're gonna move forward because this is great. That's all I'm adding.
But I
Right.
think I see the both points on both
Yeah.
sides. I do see when you come into your corporate position or transitioning from your grad school education, high school, wherever you come out and you go into that corporate position, you do have maybe some misgivings about your talents, maybe some misgivings about your weakness, or something that you've been told about yourself that you're bringing into this already. What this book does is gives you the insight to look at yourself introspectively from a standpoint that gives you a critique that builds you personally and helps you to hone in on those natural talents that you are not aware of so that you can bring to the table and bring to your new position and then find yourself within this corporate environment to give you guidance to move a little bit better than you would had you not had this information. So I see it from both
Right,
sides.
right. But that's provided you even know what that is, right?
Correct.
So again, this is just the preface, right? We haven't
Mhm.
even got
Right.
into the meat of anything. This is
Oh,
just
yes.
as
Yes, yes.
simple as you understanding what the talent is. The talent is yourself. What is the investment? The investment is your work environment. That
Right.
equals a strength.
Mhm.
That's it, right? So now they're saying that combined, the between the talent and the investment, that leads to a strength, a reliable, near perfect performance in an activity. What is the activity? Your work, whatever that looks like. And
Mhm.
then it's saying, like, what can you achieve by unlocking your strengths? But first, we have to even know what type of strengths we're talking about, right?
Right.
So we don't want to sit here and skip past what is even a strength before we get into all of this dialogue. So let's find out a little bit more about what they're talking about. Okay, so they have 34 themes in Strength Finder. Okay, so they have the achiever, the activator, adaptability, analytical, arranger, belief. And it's so funny because with belief, that's something that Sakina and I, in our other collective, we talk about this nearly every day, every hour on the hour. Do we not, Sakina? Is belief not something that is a constant conversation,
Yeah.
a constant conversation. So it's real ironic that they would throw belief in here because
Mhm.
belief is something that we talk about all the time. Yet this is a belief about a workplace or a work environment, as opposed to a belief about a religion or a belief about a geographic location, or a belief, about something in the past. So we're going to be getting into some of this stuff. So then you have command, communication, competition, connectedness, consistency,
Come on.
context, deliberative. You have developer, discipline, empathy, focus, futuristic, harmony. That's something I always talk about all the time. So my favorite word is harmonizing. We have ideation. We have the includer, individualization, input, intellection, learner, maximizer, positivity.
Uh-oh.
We have the realtor or the relator, responsibility, restorative, self assurance, significance, strategic, and woo. I don't know what the woo is, but we're going to find out what the woo
Can you
is.
woo woo woo? I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. Now,
No.
The
Sakina,
woo. You wooing
listen
them. You reeling them in.
Woosah.
Stop. Okay, so it says these themes capture different ways of thinking, feeling,
Yes.
and behaving. So some of
Mm.
those are actual, some of those themes are thoughts, emotional, right? And behavior. So that is really interesting that your thoughts, your feelings, and your behavior matters because it shows exactly who you are at some level and also how you feel about your workplace, right? I think that's
Yeah.
very interesting. It says some people might resonate with the themes like harmony or positivity, while others might find their strengths in strategic or command, complete opposite of harmony and positivity. Which ones do you think resonate with you? So, out of all of those that we went back to,
Mm-hmm.
um, what do you think would, let's start with Sakina. Sakina, what do you think out of all the ones, out of all the 34, could you see yourself really identifying with?
See,
Just a
I took
couple, not all of them now.
right. See, I took this in a different form.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, well,
So
let's see if we can
it
find you
it,
here.
it identified me as I'm dominant, but
So, is that
I'm
command?
a low dominant, so I'm not a high I, which would make me not I'm dominant, but I'm not that high dominant. I'm a low dominant. So I'm a communicator and I'm consistent. Um, and I'm not really deliberate like that, but I'm
Okay, so which one, Sakina?
right. So I'm communicative, but I'm not competitive. I'm conductedness and I'm consistent. Um, I might be contextual because I'm very organized. Uh, but again, I'm not competitive. Uh, and I'm not deliberate. I'm not deliberate. Yeah, I'm not deliberative because that goes with that competitiveness.
Okay.
I'm strategic because of my planning and for empathy and developers, and so I fall in line with some of that, but some of that I don't because some of that is um, it don't go with my flow. I do woo because that's part of the harmonizing and whatever
Mm-hmm.
the other things are. Significant, self assured, restorative, responsible, and realtor, relator. I fall in all of those. So I could go with that whole panel.
Okay, okay. What about you,
Right.
Rasha?
Well, I think I'm
And this is just
communicative.
this is before you've read the book, so be a little biased because I want you to answer these as if you don't have the book already.
Okay, so I'm communicative. I'm big on communication. I'm competitive. I believe I am an activator, um, deliberator. I try to do maximizer and positivity. I think those are the ones that really resonate with me for the most part.
Okay. And I would absolutely have to say I'm an activator.
Hmm.
I am analytical, I'm an arranger, and I'm an activator.
Hmm.
So, you know,
Oh, and I'm not organized, so I'm a wild card. I'm all over the place a little bit.
okay, okay.
It's not
So,
on there, but it
but
should
it's,
be.
it's it's funny how we see ourselves just looking at these words here, right? But to be quite honest, when we get ready to get into the book, some of these words may not be what we think it is because words have more than one meaning. And it also depends on your environment that you're in when you are absolutely seeing a word and what it is that you do. So some of this is going to change our minds and change our
Hmm.
focus about where we are and what we are, and especially when it comes to a workplace, because this book is absolutely relating things and how you can move up, how you can climb up a little higher in your thought process,
Right.
your thinking, that's what it says, in your emotional response, that's your feelings, right? And then in your behavior, meaning how you move around your workplace. So
Yeah.
how you move is a big deal, right? Because
Right.
you either are trying to move to be seen or unseen.
Right.
And then some people are trying to move to be, all the rest in between. So,
Hmm.
but basically, it's just one or the other. Either you're trying to be seen or unseen in the workplace. So,
You
all
know
this.
what, Sean? With the
Mhm.
Gemini, with the position that I just got in, I find myself trying to assure myself a little bit more now. So self assurance is really important in trying to be strategic. But then when I saw the word futuristic, why did that make me think of George Clinton? It just made me think of
It
Atomic
does
Dog
not
for some
mean that,
reason.
Rasha. Stop. I can't. It does not mean that.
Ah!
Sis, I'm just here to tell you first. It does not mean atomic dog. Okay.
No, no, I just made me think of that. I'm not saying that's what it meant, but futuristic, it just took me to a whole nother place. But futuristic, I'm thinking about what I want my goal to look like at a later time. What I want is
That's right.
what I want my positioning myself at this point, what that positioning is going to do for me in the future. Where do I plan to land?
Okay, but that's provided it actually means that. So when we get to that
Okay,
chapter,
yeah, so yeah. So that's my
we're going
bias
to
against
yeah,
it.
we're going to revisit some of that because again,
Okay.
this is all work related and environmental. Now you may or may not can move some of these things, right? Some of
Mhm.
these into your everyday life, and maybe some of these may fall into a home environment, a personal environment. But as it pertains to what we're talking about, this pertains to a work environment. So if
Right.
you have ever worked, if you're working now, then these words here are activators or things and ways, feelings, behaviors, and thought processes of your job. Okay.
But you know
And
what I
some
was
of
thinking
these
about,
are
that
going to
little
take
teeter
on a
totter?
different meaning or have a different look.
Right. That little icon with the teeter totter with the feelings, thoughts, and beliefs. If you don't have control of your behavior, regardless of what you have, it's going to be a problem. So that behavior, regardless of what you feel, think, believe, how things are, it has you feeling. You got to have control of that behavior because that goes a long way. You could
Yeah,
be
agreed.
upset, angry to the point of where you just want to just throw everything to the ground. But if your behavior is under control and stabilized, you can get through anything.
You can get through anything, and that is so true. Because at work,
Oh yeah,
they
child.
don't word in here anywhere, but they should add it at the bottom before they said "woo fighter."
Oh yeah.
I be
Yeah,
ready to
meet
fight at
me
work. I
at
don't care
3
what
o'clock.
nobody say.
At
Yeah,
3
I be ready
o'clock,
to.
meet me
Okay,
outside.
I can't beat you down right now from 8 to 4:30, but meet me in a parking lot at 4:35,
Come
and
on.
I'm gonna pound you to pieces. I'm gonna kick
And
your
that
butt.
actually happens where we work. People are trying to, meet each other to, fight outside. I was with these people in class. They were in training.
Exactly.
When they got to the point where these two ladies were having it out, they were trying to, teach the class and decided to separate them. Went in and I was trying to walk up to get a conference room for us to go meet. That was the wrong thing because now they're in the hallway arguing. Okay, so we separated them again. Then at the end of the day, I walked one out, escorted her to the parking lot. Next one
Mm,
came out, followed the girl into the parking lot, and they started to
mm.
have another altercation. So this stuff, behavior, if you
Yep,
can't control your behavior, that can really mess up your corporate career. It can really derail
absolutely.
it.
Come
So
on.
And
we
it can,
deal
because
with that a lot.
if you noticed in here, right? And I'm gonna scroll back one more time, but listen, if you notice under the S's, it does not have self-control.
Come
It has
on.
self-assurance. And then
Self-assurance.
it doesn't
Yeah.
have over here in the D's, it has discipline, but it doesn't have self-discipline, which is
Right.
completely different. So, when we start, breaking down some of these things, that is, you are right and exact about bringing up that behavior, because maybe behavior, and it has been my experience that behavior also is one of those unspoken things that you're supposed to know already, whether or not you're supposed to be behaving in this work environment or not. Nobody has to tell your grown self how to have self-control or self-discipline. Those things
Unfortunately,
should come already. So to
it
me,
should
when it
come
leaves
already,
those
but it
things
don't.
out, that's
Yeah.
part of that weakness thing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So
what are
see
your
that's
weaknesses? Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't
yeah.
have no self
Exactly.
control and I don't have
But
no
see,
self discipline.
that's what we're dealing with now with these new young people coming in. They do not have that understanding. Even dress attire. Came in first day was
Mm.
wearing a tutu. I'm like, what are you wearing?
Listen
So
here,
it's a
Come
lot of
on.
Sakina
stuff that's
twin sister.
happening.
Y'all are two sisters from a different mister. We ain't on them people dress attire. You leave them people in their clothes alone. Because people might think that I dress too sexy at work. And I'm gonna tell you now, I am 51 and I am sexy. There ain't nothing nobody can do about it. What they gonna do
I
about it?
mean, all I saw was legs and thighs with
That's
the
it.
tutu.
That's all
I
you
was
gonna
like,
see.
oh my gosh, what is going on? And it
Look,
wasn't hot. It was not
see,
hot that
Listen,
this
I'm
day.
this
always I'm tactfully dressed, but in the
exactly.
same breath, they really wish that I wasn't as sexy as I was, and that is a
Well, we're
personal
not talking
problem,
about
not
sexy.
a job related problem.
We're talking
But
about provocative.
right, and so this is the difference. So I'm going with in different jobs. There's different job descriptions,
That's true.
right? And so when it depends on where you're at and the clientele you deal with to say what you can and cannot wear and what you cannot. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so with the behaviors, they shouldn't have to tell you what's professional, right?
Unfortunately.
And
Exactly.
what is and what's not. And so it's not what they did said, it's what they didn't say, because as an adult,
Mhm.
these behaviors, right, will cause disciplinary actions, right?
Right.
Right. So they shouldn't have to
It doesn't
tell
cause.
you
I'm gonna hold pause right there. It doesn't cause disciplinary actions. What it do cause though, because you have lot of relation situ. They call them situationships in
Yes.
the workplace that should not be happening.
Right.
So some women do
exactly.
dress for that situationship versus other people like me. I just dress with how I feel like I just should look for present myself for the day. There are no situationships, but then in an environment like we work, where a lot of people are very introverted,
Hmm.
people feel I'm introverted, extroverted. So I have that duality about myself. And so I like to be in a workplace where no one sees me because I'm not very people-ish. And
Hmm.
Sakina knows that about me. I prefer
Hmm.
to absolutely be alone. But then in that alone space, these are regular human beings. So they have feelings and emotions. And so when they see that you are an introvert person like them, but you are coming in there dressed like an extrovert, oh, they feel some type of way about that.
True, but
And
your
so,
skirt is not 3 or 6 inches above. See, it's one thing
Yeah,
that's
it's
3
like,
inches
there is
above
no
your
rules
knee.
about no inches
Okay,
in
but listen to what I'm saying. When we
no
talk about
handbook.
a casualness,
business
there's
casual. Or,
right, and so you're not doing these things. So you're looking at something that she's not looking at. So there's a line that you would do even
mhm.
if you went to work that she's not speaking about. So you're not thinking about where she's going. So we get what you're saying respectfully, but what she's saying is not that, right? And so this is what she's saying. So you're not even falling nowhere in that line with what she's saying,
Oh,
right?
but no, but it is the line because when you mention it for one, you mention it for all. And so this is
Okay,
why
but when you wearing a
this
cashmere
is why
teddy,
clothes is not in a handbook unless you have to wear a uniform. Unless you have to
exactly. So
wear a
that's why
uniform,
the handbook is the line. So I'm agreeing with you. That's why the dress code is the line, right? And you don't go, you walk the line. You are that you stick to the rules, so you don't apply when we come to this. You always are not the one. All right, because you speak up for the people, but again, you don't break that. You don't cross the line, even though you always feel
I
no.
don't cross the line, but
Exactly.
when it comes to the way people dress, people usually have an antiquated association with clothes. And clothes, again, just like we're having this conversation,
Mhm.
and it's a little bit, past level 1 or 2. It's the same way in the workplace. And this is what I'm telling you, that
Okay, but
clothes, the
if
way
it's a
people
dress
dress,
code,
it moves people, and people feel some sort of way
They
about it
do, yeah.
because they can't
true.
wear what you wear, or they won't wear, or they feel like you shouldn't wear, and so they will make clothes or what somebody wear an unnecessary issue at work when it doesn't have to even go there at all. Because
Right,
have no rules about clothes, but clothes and the way people wear their hair, the way people do certain things, their shoes, it moves people. And I don't know
right.
why it does, but it does. And it's
Come
always an
on.
issue in the workplace, especially our workplace. It's
Well,
an
see,
It
issue.
should. It
I'm
was
not.
one at one time with us wearing
Uh-huh.
ponytails in the business field, right? And we've
Mhm.
moved a long way from that,
Yeah,
right? Because it was a specific hairdo that we had to wear in the workforce, which was either a ponytail or we had to wear it long like that. We couldn't wear our braids as African American women,
I
right?
remember a
We had
time.
to,
I remember.
okay, so now we have evolved from that. So I'm just saying, as a workforce, right? So it's certain attire. So not even as women, but again, if you don't have that policy where it says that you have to have a specific dress attire, that's one thing. But if you do, that's another.
That's
well,
another.
what?
Okay.
So I can
Well,
I can rock with you on
I
that,
totally
because if the
agree.
policy is not there,
But
then there's
we're
nothing you can do. But if
but
a
we're
policy is there, you have to
right.
enforce it,
But
because that's where the problem arises. If there's no policy, there's no policy, because you have to do one for everybody that you do for one. But if there's no policy, then there ain't nothing you can do.
Okay, Rasha, what were you getting ready to
well,
say?
I was just saying, I'm talking about the extremes, and we're all saying the same thing in different ways. But I'm looking
Hmm.
at the ones where we have to, like, pull them to the side and say, "Hey, we need to have a conversation." So
About
sometimes
your
there are
pajamas?
people that will come to an interview that look like they just rolled out of bed. If you're coming to an interview and you're not taking the initiative to dress the part for the position that you want, then that's a problem. And one young lady was explaining about that, and she told the person to go back home and dress a different way. First of all, we're not going to hire you looking like that, like you just rolled out of bed.
And it's,
Secondly,
you know what? Go ahead. Go ahead.
secondly, look, we had a party at one of the sites, and everybody was supposed to wear pajamas. Why did someone come in with a see-through teddy? So I mean, it's just things that people do. They didn't push the envelope. They didn't tow the envelope open. So that's what I'm
Girl,
talking about.
you know what? Okay, so we're not talking about the crazy people, but wait, we're gonna move forward. Listen,
But
listen to this, and then let's go back to our box here. It
well,
also
see, they're not
says
crazy. They just push it.
No,
We
that's
don't
a
want to
little
send
crazy.
nobody
I don't care
crazy.
what you holler. Nobody comes to work in a teddy at all.
They
With a
did.
teddy bear, but not a teddy.
They
Okay.
came in with a teddy at one of our offices. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that much.
Oh, listen, that's other
Don't
shit.
you?
I don't even know what to say. But wait, let me hold on, y'all. We don't come back. So let me get through this. Let me get through my
I'm
slides.
sorry, but
So
Sakina
it
had me
says
going.
here, because this is what we're talking about. So it
Okay.
says that some people might resonate themselves with harmony or positivity, while others might find their strengths in strategic or command. This is
Yes.
this conversation that we're having
Yes.
right here.
Yes.
So this is that, and I like the way it broke that down. you know. So, if you're curious about your own strengths, then make sure you like and subscribe to the channel
Yes.
and into the series, because we are going to be breaking down some of these attributes about your strength. And we're not going to talk about any of your weaknesses because that's unnecessary, because we're trying to
Mhm.
build you. We want to build you so that if you are thinking about moving up the ladder at work, you can do so. This series is going to help you really navigate where you fit in work, because sometimes you have cliques and you have things like that. They
That's
won't let
right.
you in, but there's still a way with your person to be able to climb that ladder if you want to. And others may just want to just improve their everyday attributes at work, and just be a little, maybe think about some different things at work. So even though they're not interested in climbing the ladder, but maybe they may be interested in kind of just brushing up and cleaning up their person. So stay tuned. Stay
Yes.
tuned.
Yeah.
So
So our
exactly.
next
Yeah.
Let them
chapter
be them.
that we dive into is
Mhm.
going to be the achiever.
All
Yeah.
right.
Come on.
Okay?
So just let them be them.
Nice
You be you, and
presentation,
you be your
sister.
best you.
Yes, that was
Yes.
nice.
Yeah.
I
That's
didn't
it.
read the book, but it sounds powerful.
Hmm.
Yes,
Yes, yes,
absolutely.
yes,
Absolutely. It
yes,
is powerful, Sakina. It is
yes.
going to be quite the something when we come in here and break that down. Because again,
That's
when we're
right.
talking about these attributes, we're really talking about them from a workforce standpoint. So again, you might be
Hmm.
able to move these into your everyday life, but providing that you really understand what they mean when when the book is talking about being an achiever, not what you feel about being an achiever, what the book actually says about what an
Hmm.
achiever actually is. And so this is going to move layers within your person, right? It's going to help
Right.
all of those three things that we talked about: your feelings, your thoughts, and your behavior.
That's
How
it.
you move. So I'm
Yes.
excited. I'm
Indeed.
totally
Indeed.
excited.
Yeah. Iron
So
sharpens iron. Yeah.
Come on. 'Cause
yeah,
your
Hmm.
so we're
behavior will get you all jacked up. And you will end up without a job if you don't check that behavior, because it is that person. And it will have you move up or down that employee scale. So this is very, very important information. And again, this is powerful corporate conversation. I think this is an excellent platform to bring to these people, especially from a manager's level, because a lot of people don't understand hitting the ground running. And
yeah.
this is
Absolutely,
very
absolutely.
intricate
Okay, we're
because
gonna go into our. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but it's about that time. So I'm gonna go into our last our round table and get your last thoughts on
okay.
this. And we're going to end the show, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. So I know I haven't sent out the flyers or anything like that, because I'm gonna get that together. This is also a work in progress, because again, work is work. Whether you're working here to try to increase subscribers on your YouTube, or you go to work. The workplace is the workplace.
That's
You
right.
know, make no mistakes about it. So nobody is perfect, not even claiming to.
Mhm.
But you're gonna learn some things in this with this channel, and we're gonna bring the complete workforce and have some spicy debates about some of these topics, because it
Mhm.
means so much. So I'm gonna start with Rasha, then Sakina, and then myself. Go ahead, Rasha, close out.
Oh, okay. Well, just be sure while you're going through this process that you're learning more and more about yourself. You're allowing yourself to be critiques. And sometimes critiques may make you feel a certain way, but take the critique, learn from it, learn to refine everything that you're being told about yourself. to determine whether or not you're going to accept it or reject it or counter it. So this platform is for you to become your best you, and by becoming your best you have to do you.
Agreed. 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 Okay, Sakina.
Well, again, this is a great platform to be able to learn how to elevate and climb a corporate ladder. Um, in order to be a chief, you have to be an Indian. And if y'all all Indians, right, you got to learn, right? A son or a daughter eventually grows up to be a mother by watching
Mm.
and learning and growing. You had to crawl to walk. So y'all take this ride, right, and learn how to get up there. So again, the behavior, this was a great one because attendance, right, got you on the dean's list. And this is one of the things that they were talking about, right? That's that responsibility, accountability by being there. And we appreciate you being here on this corporate conversation. Thank you for having me as well.
Oh yeah, yay!
Thank you.
Yeah, because I'm
Absolutely,
retired. Listen,
absolutely.
from being retired and still being, inspired to be here, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, because I'm still learning. These things was not incorporated at my time, but it's still involving me. And I appreciate y'all for that. Thank you.
Well, they say once a learner, always a learner, right?
Mm-hmm.
And especially in our collective, learning is what we are forever doing, right? So whether it be, Sinetta's channel, Smash channel,
Mm-hmm.
Community of Skeptics channel, or in any other channel that people associate themselves with, out here. That is what everyone's trying to do, is to learn. And so we bring it to a broader platform because you have lots of people that would like to join into these type of workforce discussions, but they don't want to sit and it's not a lot of lanes where we can sit here and talk about work. I'm
Right.
a mindset where every day I can talk about work all day, every day, and never get tired of it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like, it is so my lane 24/7. If I could have a 24/7 workforce channel, that is exactly what I would be up here talking about, because, it's near and dear to my heart, the same way religion and other topics are to other people's, so we're forever the learner, that's what these platforms are about: learning, sharing content, which makes us all content creators.
Mm.
So I want to end it on there, and I want to, we have some upcoming um, other content. We're going to have pretty soon on Thursday nights, eBizzle's Brain Food. We're going to add another part of this continuous learning
Yes.
project that we're doing to our channel, because again, we're forever the learner, and so his is more geopolitical. And so, him and Sakina is going to have a ball. Him and Sakina, they're going to do their thing Bizzle. And his name is E Bizzle, by the way.
The shizzle.
Let's shizzle e bizzle. Yeah.
Bizzle, exactly, right over. So let me sit, if I can sit here and share my screen one more time,
Let's
then
see.
yeah, and let's see what it is that I can
All
do.
right.